Hey everyone, it is your girl Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration, here with a very quick message. I'm hoping that it's quick because I gotta take these braids out. All right, for those of you that I am on live on Facebook, YouTube, and my wonderful friends over here, Instagram. Okay, I am Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration, and today's message is really about, are you struggling to tap into your primary gift? Right? The one thing I want you, before we even get there, hold on, before we even get there, okay? I need everyone to go to tanishashanae.com/journal and go and order your new journal. Okay? Look, I got to put it out there. We don't, no one will ever know. So, hey Bola, hey Tommy, how are you? So let me put that up there real quick. I'm trying to pin it. Oh, here it is. All right. So my new journal came out. It is on Amazon. So I have two journals out right now on Amazon. Right. So the healing journal, and then we have the new happy journal. So you'll notice the size difference. So I did listen to those that have purchased this journal, and they was like, "Oh, the journal's kind of small. I need something bigger." So here you go. 100 sheets, right? It is a regular notebook, but you have more space and you can have more to write. And I have a nice, beautiful message in the back. Find your happiness each day. Find your happiness each day. These are available right now. Amazon, yes, you can get them. Amazon Prime. Okay. So let's get into the message. So God has been speaking to me about gifts. Right? A lot of us have multiple gifts. Each one of us have multiple gifts. Okay. The problem is that a lot of us are not operating in our primary gift, like the gift that God needs you to use. And I always like to give myself as an example. Okay. Um, I want to say maybe 30 years ago, if you would have asked me what was my gift, and 30 years ago, I was 8 years old. Well, turning 8 because my birthday's next week. I was turning 8 years old. And if you would have asked me, what is your gift, Tanisha? I probably would have told you writing. I used to love writing short stories. I wrote poetry. Like writing was my thing. So I always felt that writing was my gift. That's the gift that's my primary gift. And that's what I'm always going to use. As I got older, I heard two things. I would hear from teachers. I would hear from my mentors. You have the gift of speaking. And the only reason why I did not believe that I had a gift of speaking was because when I was younger, I had a stutter. Okay. I have a gap. A lot of people growing up did not admire gaps. So a lot of people made fun of me. Oh, you got a gap. You're missing a tooth in front of your mouth. So that made me want to do what? Close my mouth. So I did not want to speak. I did not want to talk. So I tried to hide as much as I can. And a lot of times I went into writing. So that's why, like I said, I used to write a lot of poems. Back in the day, if you guys remember poetry.com, it used to be like a website. You can self-publish your poems. I had a whole bunch on that website. I used to write short stories for days. Okay, good ones. Some that I'm still thinking that people stole my stories because I see some of these movies and they took my storyline. But we're not going to talk about that. So when 2015 happened, well, when 2012 happened, and God, brought me into the lines of healthy living and my whole journey, He started to put me in spaces where I started to speak more. Okay, I was not comfortable with speaking. Honestly, that was another reason why I never wanted to be a teacher, because I did not want to speak in front of my students. Personally, guys, I don't know how you listen to my videos because I don't even like my voice. So some days, again, we are our biggest critics. This is the reason why I feel as though those of you that are running from your primary gift, you're going to identify all the flaws. So I already identified I don't like my voice. So if I don't like my voice, my audience will not like my voice. I already identified that I attach myself to the story that I stutter. And so here I was saying, no, I can't be a speaker. I can't be a teacher because I stutter. My students are going to laugh at me. The people in the world are going to laugh at me. So I cannot. I attach myself to this story that I stutter. And then I use the fact of the cosmetic, right? Because I have a gap. So a lot of times your primary gift, you're going to run away from it. You're going to find every excuse in the book why you cannot use this gift. But when I say to you, your primary gift is going to allow you to find the abundance. You're going to find the joy. You're going to find your peace. You're going to find who you are. And when I say it is best that you start to identify what that is, because it's going to put you in the life that you truly desire. Your primary gift can be used in a job. So yes, you can be paid for this. You can actually start doing this right now. You can start to align yourself with companies and organizations that can use your primary gift. But a lot of us are afraid of doing that. So I want you to get into this mindset of saying, am I really using my primary gift? Am I using the gift that God really wants me to use? Right? And I'll give you a few hints of identifying whether or not you're not using your primary gift. If you are currently in a space, jobs, think about your jobs. If you are working somewhere that you're very frustrated, right? You're frustrated, like you don't like any aspect of your job besides when you get paid. If the only thing that you like about your job is I get paid every 2 weeks, every week, whatever the frequency of you getting paid, then 9 times out of 10, you might not be using your primary gift. If they do try to get you to utilize other gifts, other skills, other tactics, and you're like, no, I can't do that, then chances are what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, you are not identifying and tapping into your primary gift. So we have to get to that point that even on our jobs, what are we doing that is going to allow us to use our gift? Because when we use our gift is going to bring us joy. It's going to bring us a level of peace, right? And I will just put this in there. Those of you that are called to entrepreneurship, no matter what, and I'm not saying this to say, go quit your job. No. Those of you that are called to entrepreneurship, you're always going to have a level of friction being an employee, okay? I'm going to say that again. If you are called to entrepreneurship, you are always going to have a level of friction being an employee. So that doesn't have anything to do with your gift or not, because you can be operating your gift, fully operating your gift, doing it every single day, getting paid from this company. You might be getting paid well. You might be getting paid. You could say, I could get paid more. But because you have the spirit of entrepreneurship, yes, you're always going to have friction until you start tapping out and leveling up and get into the next phase of this journey of using your gift. But outside of that, a lot of us are frustrated. I remember being in 2014, and I don't know if my friend Bola is still on. 2014, I left teaching to go back into operations, right? So I was teaching from 2010 to 2014, full-time educator. And then 2014, I got this epiphany. I want to leave teaching. I want to do something different because I heard God said, he said to me, it's time to do something different. And before I even went and understood what that meant, I was like, well, he means I'm not going to teach anymore. And an opportunity was presented to me that was tapping into one of my other gifts, one of my old skill sets, okay? And opportunity came, and I said, all right, this must be what God meant. It wasn't, okay? Sometimes those things are going to happen because God needs that to happen, because he was trying to get me into a space of coming to him and saying, okay, you said to me, it's time for me to do something different. What do you mean by that? See, I didn't know anything about this. I didn't have anyone around me speaking this language, talking about purpose and talking about how you can get in alignment with God's will. I didn't have anyone around me speaking that. So when I went from teaching, which is my primary gift, and back into operations, I was frustrated. I did not belong there because I was no longer utilizing my gift. I was no longer utilizing the gift that God needed me. So here I was in an organization, not operating in my gift. There was nothing but friction, nothing but. I was in that position for not even a year. I think I made like 10 months at this position, and God was like, it's time for you to go. And I knew from the second day that I didn't belong there. I could have probably called my old job back and been like, look, I think I made a mistake. I know you didn't hire anyone else, but I didn't do that. But I'm thankful I did not do that, because I would not have met the person that opened my eyes up to this concept of purpose. Purpose did not come to my existence until 2015, guys. So this is the reason why I'm telling you, before you even get to that far, before you get to that business, before you get to being an entrepreneur, you got to start tapping into what is your gift. And when I understood, when she started to speak to me about purpose, it was like, well, what is my purpose? And that's when I understood, okay, it's the gift that I need to use to give to the world. And once I got that understanding, I had to go through the process of learning how to implement that. See, remember before Facebook Live, there was no Facebook Live, right? There was only special people, special accounts that can do Facebook Live. But then when they made it general for everyone, my friend called me, girl, they did something called Facebook Live. And I remember sitting on my couch and I'm like, yo, what are you? I'm looking at her like, well, I wasn't looking at her. I'm looking at my phone like, what is she talking about? Like, I don't want to be on camera talking to people. So we have Facebook Live pop up. We have Periscope pop up. All these online platforms are popping up. And it was like, okay, go live, start speaking, start using your voice. It was so easy for me to sit and write a book. Y'all know I wrote my first book in 2014. It was very easy to sit and write that book. Writing is one of my gifts, but writing is not my primary gift. There are a lot of authors who are out there hiding behind their primary gift of speaking. They're technically speakers, but they're afraid for whatever reason, so they hide behind the books. I know someone that has 20-something books. And then when I say go and speak, they run from it. They hide from it. They like, the same excuses, the same things that I said. I don't like my voice. I don't like the way this sounds, and no one wants to hear what I have to say. I made excuses on top of excuses until it just became like I would wake up, right? I would wake up and God would just be pouring. The same way that I had to come live and share this message, God will wake me up and he would just be like, I would feel like a presence on my back. Like, you got to speak. You have to speak. You have to speak. And I'm like, but I don't want to speak. I'm good. Like, I'm fine. I can write a nice inspirational quote on Facebook. I can write a nice inspirational quote and tweet it out. That was where I was comfortable, but that was not where I was not getting the results that I needed, right? I didn't have any coaching clients. I didn't have any businesses. And at that time, I had no full-time job. So when I started to speak, things started to line up. Opportunities started to flow in. People started to contact me because they were seeing me operate in my primary gift. When you operate in your primary gift, people are going to see you, whether you want to be seen or not. They're going to see you. They're going to recognize you. You're just going to it's going to be like, wait, hold on, who is that? And I never understood that. So I want you to get to that point where you start asking yourself, what is my primary gift? What am I supposed to use in this world that's supposed to help them? And again, we can start this on a very local level with your family and your friends and your community. Some of you are part of community organizations that need your gifts, right? Then we can take that to the next level of your jobs. I always say your primary gift can be used in these companies. These companies need your gifts. Everyone, look, as a speaker, as a teacher, everyone is not going to be at the level of Joyce Meyer, right? So back in 2015, that was who I kept seeing, was Joyce Meyer. Everyone is not going to automatically get to Joyce Meyer levels. But guess what? Your gift is needed at your job. And when I say to you, your gift is going to make room for you, you're not going to have to work hard for that gift to make room for you. Let me tell you how I started to teach. When I started teaching full-time in education, higher education, I taught in New York State trade schools, okay? New York State trade schools, they need certifications and license. All right. So whether or not they're medical assistants, they're electricians, they're doing culinary, everyone needs to get a license from New York State Education Department or Department of Education, whatever, New York State Education Department. I had colleagues, right? We had to go through this program. There's a guy, his name is Marshall. That's the name just hit my spirit. His name was Marshall. Marshall did these 2 weekends, Saturday and Sunday, from 8 to 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. classes. Every person had to do this. This is what I heard from the time I got hired. You don't have to do this automatically, but you have to do this eventually. Now, everyone else, I worked at the medical assistant program. So we had doctors who were MDs, we had RNs who were teaching and who had to go through this process. At the time, I was working on my PhD. My PhD was in organizational behavior with a specialization in adult education. Tell me how God sets things up, because I remember not even knowing why I was choosing this major, right? I didn't know why. Back in 2010, when I started my PhD program, I did not know why I was choosing this major. I did not know that I was going to make this a full-time job in education. So here it was. It came down to about 5 of us. All of us have been teaching for about 4 years, and it's time for us to get our full license from New York State Education Department. Colleagues, one person had MD, there was 2 RNs, one certified medical assistant, and myself. Those 4 people had to go through those 2 weeks, 4 days, 8 to 5, and I didn't. My colleagues were like, wait, what makes you special? This is how I know it is a setup from God, because it's going to appear that you are special. You're going to appear to be special. People are going to call you out. And it's not always, and that's why I said your gift is going to make you be seen, but that doesn't mean that it's going to always be in a good, positive way. So here was my gift allowing me to be seen. And now my colleagues are hating on me. Well, how can she doesn't have, I thought we all had to do this. Everyone who taught for New York State Education Department had to go through these classes. But see, remember when I started that program in 2010, here it was in 2012 when it was time for me to start for everyone to take those classes. I didn't have to. I didn't have to do that. Because the classes that I had taken in my PhD program had qualified me and exempt me from this particular program. So all I had to do, transcript, submit, they did an evaluation, my license came full with no problem. So you have to understand, when you are just operating, just start to operate, and your primary gift is things are just going to just move. It's just going to happen for you. You're going to just sit back. Everyone else is going to be frustrated. They're going to be stressed out because they're going to try everything in their power to do this. And it's not going to always work out as easy as it is going to work for you. So I wanted to just really come and encourage you. If you are struggling to identify your primary gift, and you're struggling to figure out, how do I start to operate in this, even right now with your job? Some of you, it might just have to be a simple conversation with your boss saying, hey, boss, I want to start, some of you have the gift of teaching. But you might think, well, I can't teach because, fill in the blank, whatever. I'm in one of these Facebook groups, and there's like a whole bunch of like different backgrounds. And I remember there was a young lady. She said that she had 15 years in retail as a cashier. And I said to her, you have worked at multiple organizations. You've been a cashier for 15 years. Have you ever gone through different trainings? And she said, yeah, we always had to do all these different kind of trainings. I said, so why do you think that with 15 years of experience as a cashier, you can't be the person that go in and train? See, they'll hire a person like me to come in and do professional development, to train on customer service. But guess what? I don't have 15 years of customer service, not as a cashier. I said, so you have to advocate for yourself because you are a trainer. I'm pretty sure you have trained people on the job on how to utilize the systems, on how to deal with difficult customers. I said, so why do you feel as though that after 15 years of being a cashier that you're not qualified to be a cashier or customer service trainer? And she was like, but they would never hire me to do that. I said, baby, when I got hired as an educator for the first time in 2010, I didn't have a degree in education. I had no official formal training as an educator, and I was hired to work at a college. And then less than 6 months, I was hired full-time at a trade school in a field, catch this, in a field that was not my expertise. I was hired to be a full-time faculty member at a medical assistant program. This is why I say when you operate in your primary gift, God is just going to just move things. Things are just going to move out the way, and it's just going to come to you. It's going to flow to you easily. It's not going to make sense to you. You're just going to you're going to mesh well. When they gave me that curriculum, I was able to make sense and give them examples of real life examples of whether or not as a patient or the things that I have heard from my friends who worked in the field. And it just came so naturally. And they were like, well, Miss Williams, were you a medical assistant? No, I wasn't. But guess what? I did work in the office. So instead of me only focusing on professional medical office procedures, I'm just talking about professional office procedures. Forget about the medical part, because the professional office is a professional office in law, in medical, in accounting. It's professional office. Only thing is that now we got to incorporate how to make sure that when you answer that phone, you know how to address the doctor's office, or how to make sure that you know how to get the information from your patients. But professional office procedures is the same across the board. But they had in the job posting, we were highly recommended to be a medical assistant. And I didn't have that. I still applied. This is why I say when you start to operate in your gift, this is why you have to start identifying what that gift is. Identify what the gift is. And once you identify what that gift is, Tommy said mindset matters. Absolutely. Your mindset has to matter. You have to just own it. Like, you have to own who you are. When we doubt who we are, things start to fall away. But when you own and you're confident and you know, like, this is who I am authentically this person, then that is going to shine bright. For some reason, my light just got brighter, right? But that's what ends up happening. We shine brighter. We just shine naturally. You might try to hide. Trust me, there were so many times and days I try to sit in the back, try to sit in the corner. I try to mind my business. I try to stay low key. Like, I'm just here. I try to have the mindset, I'm just here to get a paycheck. I tried to have that mindset. But when I was operating in my gift, God said, no, you can't just show up for a paycheck. You got to show up and you got to do what I need you to do. This is the reason why I had the vice president of the school come down to my classroom to thank me, because we had a student who tried to commit suicide, and that student came to me. But the student didn't just directly come to me, because I understood. I felt there was, at that time, I didn't understand none of this. I felt there was something wrong. I stopped, intervened, got the conversation going. She revealed she actually had left me her suicide note. And we didn't have cell phones, and we couldn't have our cell phone in our classrooms, and we didn't have phones to call. And I just opened the door, I kept the student there. I called, hey, can somebody go get the dean? Tell them ASAP, like right now, code red. I need somebody in here with me. And when that vice president came down, he said, well, how did you know that that this was going to happen. I said, I can't explain it to you, but I know. But then that again is attached to my gift. Tommy said that was the answer to the test. Unfortunately, plenty are in a cycle. Once they figured out the job mindset turned off. Absolutely. But see, that's why I say we can't ever stop wanting more. When you get to that point, and I'll say this, when you get to that point of saying this is just a job, either it's time for you to start figuring out the next move, or you got to start figuring out what's the assignment here. You got to reshift your focus. When I start feeling that way, sometimes the first thing before I start looking for another job, because that's usually the go-to answer, but before I start doing that, I start, God, what is my assignment here? I could be, you know what? I could just be here with the wrong focus. What is my assignment here? Either it's something I need to learn, something I need to pay attention to so that I can teach others, or there is someone here that needs my help. And a lot of times people are just getting paid to use their gifts. And it's not within their job. I had a client like 5 years ago. She said to me, she said, my job pays me to answer the phones. She said, but God placed me to minister to women here. And that was powerful because the job paid her to answer the phones, but God placed her there so that she can minister to the women there. That was something, that was understanding that her primary gift was going to make space for her. What we do is one thing, we do with everything. That slides into the relationships. Yeah, everything, it ties into every aspect. That's why, I used to do a workshop, and maybe I need to go back to doing this workshop. I don't like the terminology. I'm looking for a job, right? I'm looking for a man. I'm looking for a woman. Right? There are some people out here, they just looking for something. They don't know what it is. They just looking for something. So when they go looking for a job, what are you going to find? The worst job on earth. When you're just looking for a partner, what do you typically find? You find the worst thing on earth. Because you were just looking for something. You were not clear about what it is that you want. This is the reason why you don't have intention, if you don't have direction, if you don't have understanding of the assignment, you're going to continue to just find, and it's typically going to be the worst outcome. This is the reason why I want people to, even when you're finding your purpose, you might not be able to operate in that purpose to the level that you desire, the level that God might be showing you initially. Because God is going to always show you the end first. So he's going to show you the bigger picture. And then you got to come back to him and say, okay, I see the big picture. What are the steps to get there? So you have to start realizing, okay, so how do I see the vision. Cool. So how do I start doing this? What's my first step? And that's where a lot of people go wrong. So they don't understand that, yes, God might call you to be the next Eric Thomas. Absolutely. Someone can be the next Eric Thomas. They could be the next Tony Robbins or the next Joyce Meyer. You can definitely be that person. However, you got to start somewhere. You either got to, how did Eric Thomas start? Thank God it's Monday. With his cell phone, and he recorded, Thank God it's Monday. I didn't know who Eric Thomas was back in 2015. I had no clue who this man was. But I heard that when I did come across him, I went on his page every Monday, consistently. Every Monday, this man put out a video. And it was nothing flashy, no jumping text. It was just on his cell phone. And he was just doing this consistently. And next thing you know, he started to build. Someone just posted, I think they said now Eric Thomas, it's like $1 million to get him on the stage. $1 million. And again, I discovered him 2015, the end of 2015. So I can't even tell you when he actually started, but he continued. So he saw what God showed him and he started to do. That's what all of us have to do. Trust me, I kick myself. I used to be so consistent. I now check me out every Thursdays on my Facebook, on my LinkedIn profile. I call it Throwback Thursdays. Guys, I was going live every single morning in 2015, 2016. I don't even have to put out new content. I can just go back, pull one of my old messages, download it, and re-upload it. That's what I've been doing for the last 2 Thursdays. It's on my LinkedIn and it's on my Facebook pages. And all I've been doing is just putting up old messages. These are repurposed messages because these are things that I have been doing. I was doing it consistently. I was on the move. But I understand what happened. I fell off after the miscarriage, right? I didn't look at what I didn't pay attention to what God was doing. The message, the testimony that I should have continued, because I did it, but then I was just like, I didn't want to do this anymore. I didn't want to be Miss Inspiration. I mean, I kept trying to run away from it, but I understood I can't run away too far because I'm now at the point I know my gift. I know what my superpower is. So I know that, and it's not just teaching anymore. Like God is pushing me back into coaching. I don't know if anyone saw my Facebook page the other day. But now I work with a prestigious college up in Boston. And now I'm coaching the faculty members, brand new faculty members who are teaching online. I'm coaching them. That's basically that's what my job has become. And they're just like, and my coworkers, and it makes me, cringe a little bit because my coworkers are like, yo, you're amazing. Like you just have the Tanisha's bad dazzle on it. And I'm looking at them like, guys, it's just, I'm just encouraging them. But what I realized is that there are some faculty members, even with PhDs, even with medical degrees, who don't have the confidence to teach online. They can stand in front of a classroom, a lecture hall with 300 students, but for some reason, you put them with technology and you tell them that you got to record your lecture instead of doing it live, and we need you to write your discussion post. It makes them frazzled. They don't want to do that. So I have coached them to give them the encouragement, and it's like they become a whole new person. So that's basically what my job has become. It's not just teaching anymore. God is being extra clear, and I understood the alignment. God is like, I'm having you coach on your job because you're going to go back into coaching in the real world. You're going to go back to coaching. So I had to pay attention to the parallel that was changing in my life. Yes, you're going to still teach. Absolutely. But do you realize that you're getting paid on your job to coach? That means that it is time for you to go back into the spiritual realm and get back to coaching as well. I had stopped coaching a long time ago. I did a few coaching sessions last year with some clients, and I just stopped. And I'm not going to lie, I stopped. I went back to what was the most comfortable of my primary gift, which was I'm going to just teach. Because in my mind, I'm going to just teach because at least I'm staying in my gift, but it's levels to this. All right. So I'm like, I didn't want to stay on this long. I said, I took out these braids. There's a lot of braids. So I just really wanted to just jump on. I hope this message has encouraged you. Share this message, tag someone. I'm going to keep it up. So we'll still be on Facebook. It still will be on Instagram. But again, if you have not, go ahead, go to Amazon, get your happy journal or get your healing journal if you want something a little bit smaller. See how small this is compared to this one? All right, I answered. I listened to my readers who supported me. So go ahead and go to Amazon, or you can go straight to TanishaShanae.com /journals, and you will be able to get your journal. All right, so I love you all. Thank you for spending some time with me. For those of you that have been here, and for those who have not, #replay, so I know that you were here with me. But I thank you, and I'll be back. All right. 7:15 tomorrow. Tune in, LinkedIn and Facebook, and you'll be able to see the throwback message for tomorrow. I love you guys. Have a good one.